Okay, everybody, welcome to Travel Talk Tuesday. I am back after quite a time in Europe. I've been to Ireland, London, and Paris, and then down to Italy, to Rome and the Amalfi Coast, and the islands and the bays of Naples. It is April the 18th, 2023, and I'm home for just this Tuesday night. And so, pondering what I was going to do, flying back home the other day, I, thought about, I've been going to these travel shows all spring and offering to those who come to the travel shows that they come and they pay $10, $15 for their tickets to come into the travel show and look up travel. And we are one of the few people that sell European travel there. And so we do travel show discounts if people purchase a tour during the travel show of $300 off of that tour. And so as I was flying back home last Saturday, I guess it was, I thought, well, why not on Travel Talk Tuesday night, just open it all up and do a big celebration, sale, S-A-L-E, celebration on tours of what a few seats I have remaining for 2023 and for 2022. So the deal is tonight that beginning now, through 8:30 tomorrow night, and that would be Eastern Daylight Time. For 25 hours, I'm going to open up all these tours, everything on my website that I have seats available for $300 off any tour that's booked. New person booking a tour for this year, 2023, on any of the tours remaining, and $200 off any tour booked for 2024 tours. Now, it's pretty easy to do that. It costs $400 to reserve your seat on the tour, and that $400 is fully refundable until 4 months or 120 days before your departure date. We don't ask for any more money or anything else during the course of time that passes there. We just ask that 90 days before the tour, so about 3 months before your tour departure date, you pay your final balance. So if you're thinking about traveling, let's say summer of 2024, you could put down $200, or you could put down $400 tonight for your deposit. That $400 is totally refundable up until 4 months before your departure date. And in case something happens and you can't go, and then you would get a $200 discount for 2024 tours, and whatever seats we have available and left over for 2023, we're going to pass that $300 savings along to those of you who sign up as new signups on that. So I've got a lot of talking to do, and because I'm going to try to address 22 different tour routes. Leslie's over here. I just told her that I have about 2 minutes per tour to talk about it. So I'll start doing that in just a second. But before I do that, I think you want to check on that bread and get that. I don't know. We've got some, we're doing really a gourmet meal tonight. Usually I cook stuff, but I've been eating out for almost 2 months now. And my gosh, I got home and I'm still trying to stay on European time. So right now it feels like it's 2 o'clock, almost 2 o'clock in the morning, 1:30 in the morning. And I didn't feel like cooking anything tonight. So we're having pizza, but it's Papa Murphy's pizza and some breadsticks over here. So Leslie, thank you for doing that. And without further ado, I'm going to move on and start talking about these tours. So tour celebration, I've already told you all about it. Let's see if I can get moving here. So I usually do this at my travel shows that I talk about. I get on stage and for 30 or 45 minutes talk about my tours, give some travel hints and a little bit about me. So here's a little bit about me in case you don't know me. This is me. I'm David McGuffin. This is what we do at our travel shows on site in all the places like in Dallas and Atlanta and Chicago and everything else. And sometimes I dress up in a kilt. Sometimes I dress up in lederhosen, and sometimes I just wear this shirt right here. So that's kind of what we're doing. I live in Jacksonville, Florida. So, and a lot of you do too, I'm sure, in that area. I'm married to Charlotte. Charlotte and I have been married for, I get it wrong all the time, but I think we're coming up on 44 years now. And we have 2 kids. And I first started traveling. We have 2 kids and 4 grandkids. I better get that in too. So that's very important. So they all live here in the area of Middleburg where I live. And I first started traveling to Europe in 1977 when I was in a college choir. And we went 3 weeks, 1 week in the Holy Land, Palestine, Israel, 1 week in Greece, and 1 week in Ireland, 1 week in Italy. It cost me $900 to do that, which was a lot of money back in 1977. I had to raise for probably a year and a half to get that. But we went, we had a great time singing all over the place. And that's me in Venice on the Piazza San Marco, feeding the pigeons. I can tell I was a lot younger. My hair was longer and darker, and I was surely a lot skinnier back in the day. That's Charlotte and I. Here's that choir. It was called the FJC, the Florida Junior College Chorale. We're in front of the St. Peter's Basilica there in Rome. You can see it was quite a group there. So our director, Mr. Thompson, was pretty persuasive in getting everybody to go and be a part of that group. Later on, I became a band director. We started traveling a whole lot with my band, had other tour companies kind of arrange tours to Europe and everything. But eventually, I started planning all the tours myself and decided I could do a whole lot better than those other tour companies were doing. And so I started my own travel company in 2021 and worked in the summer and the spring when I was not teaching. This is my band in 2005. I took them to the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Dublin. It was a marching band and a great event that we had there. And my first official David McGuffin Exploring Europe tour was in 2001. And we went to London and out into the countryside. So the Cotswolds, Bath, Blenheim, Warwick Castle, and all of that area. So that's when I began, 2001, and we incorporated in November of 2001. So what I do with Exploring Europe is we give European travel information and advice. I have a weekly travel broadcast, which we're doing right now, called Travel Talk Tuesday. We take small groups of 6 to 18 people on tours all over Europe. We do private and custom tours as well. So if you have a family of 6 or more that want to travel, we got just the tour for you, and we can arrange it any way you want to. And because I was a music educator and a teacher, we do student tours as well. So if you're a teacher or you know a teacher and they want to travel and they want to have a great experience with good food and everything else in Europe, we can handle that as well. My mission is to encourage people just like you, Americans, to broaden their cultural mindsets through engaging in exciting travel experiences all over Europe. We try to do that by giving a stress-free, informative, and exciting travel experience. One lady, we just got off the Amalfi Island tour. One lady last week said, I've been trying all week to wrap it up what we're doing and why I enjoy traveling with you so much. And she says, the word I came up with is hassle-free. I don't have to think about anything. You tell us everything to do, and we go and see and experience everything. And that is really my goal, to do that. So tonight, tour celebration. I've already explained it to you how it works. So I don't need to go all over that. But when you go online at davidmcguffin.com, you can sign up for a tour. And if you look at the tour /SALE-ABRATION, if you see that, it's got all the information on it. And one of the most important things is this chart there that has all the tours we have available that have at least one seat remaining on them. And you can look through that chart and choose what you would like to do within the next 25 hours or so. So you can also go to my website on the main page of my website. Click over here, and there's all kind of tours like Christmas market tours, United Kingdom tours, Germany tours. So click on that, and they'll all pop up as well. So at Exploring Europe this year in 2023, we are visiting 17 different countries and have 22 different tour routes throughout Europe. We usually have more than that, but because of several things. One reason is the war in Ukraine. We're still trying to people aren't too keen on traveling anywhere much further east than Austria. And so we're staying out of that right now. But otherwise, we're all good to go. I was telling Leslie, this is a little bit different than the normal Travel Talk Tuesday because I usually play video and get a chance to have a drink and eat a snack or something. So here we go. I'm going right down that list there of charts. So the Essence of Italy 10 days, $36.65 is the retail price, discounted either by $200 or $300, depending on what year you book it for. We visit these destinations 2 nights in Rome, 2 nights in the Cinque Terre, which is a region near the seaside. And this is Rome, the Colosseum in Rome. I just took a photo of that like 3 days ago when we finished our tour. By the way, I just made a podcast guided walking tour that you download and you put your earbuds in while you're visiting the Colosseum. And I explain everything, the history and everything of the Colosseum. We used it with the group last week, and gosh, it worked really, really well. So they were all excited about that. And that way you can go at your own pace. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we progress. We also visit the Vatican area, and we visit St. Peter's Basilica and the Vatican Museum. Then we head up to the Cinque Terre. This is a seaside region. This is a town called Vernazza. We're 2 nights there. This is where the mountains fall into the sea. You have a whole day to bask in the sun, hike on the trails, ride the boats or trains from village to village. Just a wonderful place. We also have a quick stop at Pisa to try to make the Leaning Tower be straight again. And this is my granddaughter, Julia, and her dad, Brian, trying to do that as well, make one of those corny pictures there. We stay in the town of Volterra, and Volterra is a little hill town, 1,200 feet above sea level in western Tuscany. My favorite little hill town of all. We visit Siena for a day. This is a famous place with a great church and a famous horse race that happens there in Siena in the summer. This is Il Campo, and Il Campo is the main square in Siena. And then, of course, we go to Florence, and we spend the last 2 nights in Florence, and we see the Accademia Museum and the Duomo here and other portions of Florence. So that makes up our 10 days. Now, if you want to spend a longer amount of time, we continue that tour and piggyback on that, making it 15 days. And so from Florence, we go to Venice, Lake Como, and Milan. So Venice, of course, has the famous Piazza San Marco, St. Mark's Cathedral down here, Basilica down here, and of course, this wonderful bell tower that is a symbol of the city. We then visit Lake Como, and this is the town of Vorena and Bellagio, which is on Lake Como. It's where the Alps kind of tumble into the north end of Lake Como. Just a beautiful place. And then we end up at Milan, and we spend the last night in Milan visiting the cathedral here and having a wonderful dinner together. The next tour I want to talk to you about, so I've done 2 already, the Taste of Italy and the Essence of Italy and the Best of Italy. And now Sicily is one that is often overlooked. And I don't get to do that tour very much because we don't have a lot of people that sign up for it. But when I do, it is a wonderful tour, 11 days, $32.95. We begin in Palermo, and we spend a couple of nights there, go way over to the west part of it, visit Agrigento, Syracuse, up to the top, and down to Catania. I've got a few pictures. Palermo is a wonderful Baroque city, and it's huge. It's got a lot of people in it, but a lot to see and do. Then we visit, I think Sicily has the most important Greek temples and the most well-preserved Greek temples of anywhere, even including Greece. So this is a temple that we'll visit on the way to Trapani, and then we go to Erice and Trapani, and this is a little seaside village on the west coast. We then visit this region called Agrigento, another mountain, a temple mountain full of Greek temples, about 5 or 6 right there on that mountain. And we visit Syracuse, which was also a Greek city, and this is a Greek theater that is being refurbished there, and there are concerts in that all the time. And Taormina is way up almost to the north and northeastern part of the country, of the island, and it's kind of like, you know, the toe of Italy, the boot is kicking the football, and this is where Taormina is. This is me and Ramona here, and Katie here. We're on a tour back quite a few years ago, but just a great overlook of what that city of Taormina is all about. Mount Vesuvius is always there. and it's erupting a lot. We caught it erupting right there. And in the evenings, you can see the lava running down the mountains. And I don't know if this is going to play or not. It will. This is the fish market.
What's that?
It's crazy there. Okay, let me move on because I'm running out of time, I can tell. So the fourth tour is the Tuscan Village Vacation Tour. I'm actually leaving Friday to go do this tour, and we're really looking forward to it. We spend one night in Florence. We visit 7 nights into this farmhouse in Volterra, in the region of Volterra. We do day trips to Lucca and to Siena. We visit San Gimignano and the American Cemetery near Florence. And there's an option to do Rome at the end of the tour. Of course, in Florence, the most famous artwork there is Michelangelo's statue of David that was done in the late 1400s. The American Cemetery in Florence is just south of there, and a beautiful and very reverent location to go and remember those who gave up their life for the freedom of all the people in our country and the rest of the allied countries as well. We stay at this Podere Morcampo, this farm and vineyard, for 7 nights. This is Claudia and her mother Ivana. They do a cooking class for us. And the cooking class is, my gosh, about 4 hours. And you finish up and you have a great dinner and everything else. I got a cough again, sorry. That's my favorite drink. It's called a Campari Spritz. I probably should have one right now. That might help me here with getting choked up. We stay in Volterra too. I already mentioned that on another part of the tour, but we're right in Volterra. So we go into town. We have a wine tasting in Volterra. We have a wine tasting at Morcampo. Several dinners in Volterra. So we have a great time, very relaxing time. Visit Pisa, the Leaning Tower complex. And this is Siena, the Duomo, the church in Siena. And this is the wine cellar at Del Duca, where we do some wine tasting. And this is a swimming pool at Podere Morcampo. And you can kind of see that early in the morning, the fog's kind of settling there in the valley down below, because we're up about 1,000 feet above sea level. So wonderful location. We also add Rome onto it at the end. And so if you want to spend 2 days in Rome, we do that as well, making it a 12-day tour. I just finished the Amalfi Island tour, and that's 9 days, $34.89. We visit all these things. So we begin in Rome. We immediately travel down to Naples port and visit this island of Ischia for 4 nights. During those 4 nights, we visit this nearby island called Procida, the island of Capri. We visit Naples, have an authentic Neapolitan pizza, visit Pompeii, the ruins there, and Sorrento for 3 nights, where we see Sorrento and the Amalfi Coast. This is from the island of Ischia, looking back across the Bay of Naples. And of course, the volcano there, Mount Vesuvius, is always looming on the horizon. This is Procida, and a little village there, the quintessential and a very photogenic little village here on Procida. This is our group, just not even maybe a week ago. We were there on Easter Sunday, I think, and so we had a great time. And so this is our group of about 17 people, I think, just a week ago. This is the island of Capri, or Capri, and we spend a day trip there and spend all day there visiting that. My favorite meal on the seaside is spaghetti and clams, and they call it spaghetti alla vongole, and it is great fresh out of the sea. Then we end that tour for 1 night in Rome, have a grand farewell dinner, and everybody heads home. I also do the Best of the Med tour, which is a really, really great itinerary as well. We begin in Barcelona, visit in France, and we end up in Italy. Give me some more water, Leslie. Thank you. So we started in Barcelona, and this is the La Sagrada Familia, a famous church that's still being constructed. We visit Carsacon, which is in France, an old medieval hill town. That's me. Golly, look at that. Now, that's not that long ago. I counted up 15 years ago, 2008. I didn't believe my hair. I let my hair grow that long while I was a man, but I did. I'm right here at the Pont de Gare and everything. So this is a wonderful aqueduct in the middle of France. And we visit this little town of Bayeux and in the Luberon region, and then Nice, France, for the famous beaches along there. And we end up in the Cinque Terre. So that's the best of the Med tour. Hopping over to Ireland, we got several tours that include Ireland. I think that might be our most popular destination this year. But 8 days in Ireland, 27.89. We visit Dublin and go to the south, where this is Dublin Fair City, the River Liffey going through there. We visit a monastic site known as Glendalough. We visit Blarney Castle, so you can kiss the Blarney Stone if you want to. This is a famous little walk and a beautiful little walk on the Dingle Peninsula that is just great looking out. If you could see to the left, you'd see the Blasket Islands and then the Atlantic Ocean stretching for miles and miles. The Cliffs of Moher are right here. They're 700-foot cliffs dropping right into the Atlantic Ocean. We visit one of the Aran Islands called Inishmore. You have a chance, if you want to ride a little buggy on that island and do some sightseeing. And of course, everywhere in Ireland, there's always traditional music going on. If you like a little bit longer in Ireland and you want to experience the north, you can continue on, because we ended in Galway there. You continue on and do this area up here, visiting Westport and Northern Ireland and into Belfast. It's 12 days, 38.89. And we visit this castle on a lake called Calmore Abbey. And then we go up to the city of Derry, or Londonderry, where, you know, the north, the troubles between the Catholics and Protestants were well known back in the day, 30 years ago or so. And so we do a walking tour in that town to learn about those troubles that were happening between those groups of people, the groups of Irish people that live there. We visit this wonderful geological marvel called the Giant's Causeway. And then we end up in Belfast, and this is where the Titanic was built. And this is the Belfast Titanic Museum experience. And this resembles the bow of the Titanic sitting here in the dry dock. And inside this is a whole story about the people who worked on it, and then the voyage, and then the sinking of the ship as well. A very well done history of the place and of the ship. We also pair Ireland and Scotland together, and this map might get a little bit confusing, but we do 14 days Ireland and Scotland, which is the Taste of Ireland tour, and we fly to Edinburgh and do Edinburgh, Pitlarky, and other parts of Ireland. So we do this Taste of Ireland tour. We fly to Edinburgh. We're in Edinburgh 2 days. We visit St. Andrews. We stay here in the Highlands area of Pitlarky and have a whiskey tasting. We visit Inverness and Loch Ness. We go down here to Oban, go out into the Hebrides Islands, and we finish up in Glasgow. So that's the 14-day Ireland and Scotland tour. This is the Castle Esplanade, or the castle in Edinburgh. This is a little town of Pitlarky where a lot of the whiskey, or Scotch, we should say, is produced in Scotland. And this is up on Loch Ness at one of the castles on Loch Ness. We take a cruise on the loch and then get a chance to visit this castle as well. And we set up in this little town called Oban and have 2 nights there. And one of the nights we go out to the Aran Islands and see this monastery where, because if you have been to Dublin, you probably have seen the Book of Kells. And so it is an illuminated manuscript of the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John that were penned right here in this area in Scotland. And they actually ended up in Trinity College in Dublin, where they're on display now. Finally, our longest tour is 18 days, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. So I do everything I just talked about already. The Taste of Ireland tour, all of Scotland that I just mentioned, and we continue down and go to the Lake District in Northern England, and also spend 3 nights in Northern Wales. This is the nice little city of Keswick, In the Lake District, people go there to go on vacation for, the Brits go there on vacation for 2 weeks and spend their time hiking around and being out in the wild with their dogs and their wellies and all of that. Do you know what wellies are? You know, wellies are those boots. We call them, you know, the high top boots that everybody pays about $500 for here, but you can get them at a hardware store in Scotland or Wales for about 50 pounds. So anyway, those are wellies, Wellingtons, I think, because the Duke of Wellington wore those kind of boots. Way more than you wanted to know, I'm sure. We go to North Wales, and there's a lot to do in North Wales. We're 3 nights in North Wales. This is the town of Conwy, and this is a famous castle that's built there, but there's about 6 of these castles built by Edward, the King of England, trying to keep all these people protected from the heathen Welsh that were there, trying to drive them out. So back in the 1200s. So a great place. We go to a slate mine. We take a little train ride through Snowdonian Mount National Park and Mount Snowdon as well. So a great time in North Wales. We go to a woolen mill there that really is actually still weaves stuff, tweed, I think that's what it is. Too bad Charlotte's not here. She could help me with that. But, you know, it's interesting for me to see all that stuff go back and forth on the loom, and it's automatic. Okay. Then I have just Scotland and Wales, none of the Ireland or anything else. That's 11 days, 36.65. It includes everything I just talked about, Scotland, and everything I talked about, the Lake District and Wales. London and Paris is a very popular tour. I'm going to do Italy right now. I'm going to do the Villa tour right now, but then I head back over and I do London and Paris, which I just finished up a couple of 3 weeks ago as well. So this is the second London and Paris tour. We'll actually be in London on May the 6th, which is Prince or King Charles' coronation day. And so I don't know what that's going to entail, but it'll be a busy day and a once in a lifetime event for all of us that are on the tour, because we never expected that to happen when I booked the tour date. So we'll be there and enjoy London and Paris. This is one of the beefeaters at the Tower of London. Of course, you see the clock and the tower. A lot of people refer to that as Big Ben, but it's not. This is the Westminster Clock Tower, or the clock tower, and the bell inside is called Big Ben, is named Big Ben. Then we head over on the Eurostar train, 2 hours and 15 minutes. We're in Paris, and we get to see sites like this, the Arc de Triomphe, the Eiffel Tower, and much more. If you want to spend a little bit more time, 4 days in London, 4 days Paris, 4 days Rome, 13 days total, $46.89. I don't think I told you we visit Windsor Castle as well in London while we're there, but we fly from Eurostar train from London to Paris, and from Paris to Rome. We fly down there, 4 days in Rome, and of course we see the major sites in Rome: the Vatican Museum, the Colosseum, the Forum, the downtown area, Pantheon, all the Baroque city center, and everything else. Let me switch to Greece, moving farther to the east. 9 days, $35.89. We visit all these destinations. We start in Athens and in Athens and do a big loop. This is Delphi, the ancient oracle site and site of ancient games. Games there also at Delphi. We visit, this is Mycenae, and this group of people predated the Greeks, and this is called the Lion's Gate that is there out in the middle of nowhere, and it has been unearthed and uncovered and excavated, and it will really give you some insight in what those folks could do with seemingly no mechanical machinery or anything else, and build these huge walls and buildings and this Lion's Gate and everything else. We also visit the island of Hydra. We're there for 2 nights on the island of Hydra or Hydra. And of course, we visit Athens and see the Parthenon and all of that stuff on the Acropolis there. If you want to spend a little bit more time, which I recommend you do, and you fly on down with us to the island of Santorini for 3 nights. And it is just a grand experience to do that for $44.89. Santorini is the spots where all these blue domes, whitewash houses are. This is an old volcano that blew up centuries ago. And so all the water you see there is the caldera, the crater of the volcano. And it's just wonderful, wonderful place to wind down, spend some time at the beach. We take a sunset cruise on that caldera and have a picnic, barbecue for us on the boat and everything. And we just have a great time on that, visiting the island of Santorini. Now, the rest of these come without many pictures because I'm just going to tell you about a map because, boy, I'm running out of time. And I've got about 4 or 5 more tours to talk about. But Germany, Austria, and Switzerland is very popular for us. We begin in Vienna and visit Vienna, Salzburg, and those are 2 Habsburg cities. So royal family cities. We visit Castle Neuschwanstein, go to Switzerland. We're there for 2 days in Switzerland where you have a chance to get out and hike. Visit Rothenburg, a small little village that's just wonderful to view. And then we finish up in Munich for 2 nights and also visit the Nazi concentration camp, Hitler's first concentration camp, known as Dachau. We also do 3 Christmas market tours. And they're all very popular, and they're all a week long. They all cost the same price, $37.89. They begin on a Sunday and end on a Sunday. And I have 3 different routes. This one begins in Munich, goes Munich, and we immediately leave the airport and spend 2 nights in Salzburg. We visit Innsbruck en route to Reutte, a night here, and visit Castle Neuschwanstein. We go to Rodenburg for 2 nights, visit Nuremberg, and then end up Munich for 2 nights. So a great tour. And the Christmas markets, every destination we go, that time of year, the locals get out and they do their Christmas shopping outside in the town squares. So the town squares are set up with little huts, wooden huts with vendors that are there that sell their crafts and arts and everything else. And then there's plenty of little vendors that sell food and plenty of wonderful beer or wine or soda or whatever else you want. That is just a great experience. This is our newest Christmas market tour, and it was very successful last year, and actually happens to be the only one we have any seats left on for this coming year. And we're doing that the same price, $37.89, 8 days. We begin in Frankfurt Airport. We visit Heidelberg, Germany, 2 nights in Strasbourg, Austria, a night in Freiburg, which is in the Black Forest. We visit Lindau on Lake Constance, a night in Fussen, and then 2 nights in Bolzano, and our final night in Munich. So that gives you 3 countries, Germany, France, and Italy on this tour. And then we have the Christmas markets of Eastern Europe, which we begin in Nuremberg for a night, Prague, a couple of nights, Vienna, a couple of nights, and Budapest for a couple of nights. A great experience as well. So Prague and Budapest are totally different experiences cultural wise than what you would experience in Germany and Austria. So we throw that in to give a variety as well. Okay, getting to the end, the Best of France tour is phenomenal. And I'm sorry I don't have pictures of it, but I tell you what, you can look at the Travel Talk Tuesday archives. And my friend Wayne has been working on cataloging all of that. And it's all there at davidmcguffin.com/TTT. And it has every episode of Travel Talk Tuesday we've done since December of 2020. Yeah, and during COVID, December of 2020. So there's quite a few episodes. So you can go by and look at that and see our Travel Talk Tuesday episodes and look up the Best of France, because we did it last year and it was just a phenomenal experience. It's overlooked by a lot of people, but it gives you a great cultural insight into France. We're 3 nights in Paris. We go to the wine producing region of Beaune in Burgundy. We go to the wine producing region of Amboise, and also where the chateaux are for the kings and queens of France. We visit Brittany and Dinan, which is a totally different cultural experience there. We spend 1 night at Mont Saint-Michel, which not many tour groups do. And then we spend a couple of nights in Normandy, visiting the D-Day beaches and all of the battle sites, along with the Bayeux Tapestry and some historical sites as well, and then come back and spend 1 night in Paris. The Best of Spain, 13 days, $43.95. Gosh, 3 different cultural experiences in the Iberian Peninsula. 2 days in Barcelona, 2 days in Madrid. Segovia is a small little hill town, an hour away, that I add in because it's worth spending the night in. It's just a totally different experience than what you get in the big cities of Barcelona and Madrid. Toledo, we stay in as well. It used to be the capital of Spain before Madrid was the capital, and it's also the land of La Mancha, so windmills and Don Quixote and all of that. We go down to Granada, and this is all the Moorish territory and country, and we visit the Alhambra, which is a famous palace that was built there by the Moors when they occupied the peninsula. We visit the seaside town of Nerja. Arcos is a little white hill town in the middle of nowhere in southern Spain, and we finish up in Seville, where Mozart wrote The Barber of Seville. He wrote it about that situation there, The Barber of Seville. Finally, the best of Portugal. We've got that going this fall as well. I'd love to have some more of you guys join on that. We've got a group going, I think, already. 11 days, $37.95. We begin in Lisbon for a couple of nights. Visit these historical pilgrimage sites. We stay in these areas here up to Coimbra, Douro Valley, and Porto. So consider that. If you've been to a lot of places in Europe, but you've not been to Portugal, it's a fine destination and a big difference and a different variety of what you would see than other places farther to the east. And then my last one. So I haven't done the World War II battlefields, World War I and II battlefields tour in a couple of years, but it's time to do it because we have people all the time asking about it. So what we do is we get a group of people who are interested in exploring in the history of these battlefields. Their wives can come along too, because they're usually men that are doing it, but their wives can come along too. We have planned activities for everybody. So it's not like you're just going out and looking at a foxhole or a trench. Everybody has a lot of fun. We kick it off by stopping in the region of Champagne and do champagne tasting the very first day. So you know it's the David McGuffin tour when we do that. But you can see the destinations we visit. We put an expert on the bus too that knows the history and knows this stuff about all these destinations. And so we have a great time. That's happening in May of next year. You'll have to look up those dates, but it's going to fill fast, and we want you to be a part of it if you have any interest in all of that. I don't know why the Guinness there. I guess these are Ireland tour pictures. I don't know why they're here, but I think that kind of finishes up everything I'm going to say. This is the Giant's Causeway. Here's some questions. Let's see. Okay, Frank, let me see what it says. You asked me, eating dinners on the nights when dinner is not included. Is transportation available back to the hotel from the place we'll be visiting that day? If so, how late does the ferry transport operate? So on Ischia, we stay in the village of Forio, and our hotel is, and mark my word, it's a 20-minute walk from the hotel to the town. Now, everybody always laughs at me because I always say every walk's a 20-minute walk, but they clocked it going back and forth. A beautiful little walk along the sidewalk from our hotel all the way up there. That's what I would recommend. There are also 5 other towns on the island that for the closest one you can go to is Casamicciola, and I think that is a €5 taxi ride to get there. So there are plenty of places to go. And a good question there is because I've decided to venture out and not have all our meals in Ischia or in Sorrento at our hotels, because there's some cuisine that we don't get to taste that is famous for Ischia. For example, in Ischia, every Sunday, every family has a rabbit in the pot, and they all eat a rabbit. And I have yet to get a rabbit. But now that I'm going to have a dinner on my own, I'm going to call up the restaurant and have them cook me up a rabbit, and we're going to have a rabbit. And we can do that all together. So thanks, Frank, for that question. You won't have any difficulty. And if you're in Sorrento, there's a shuttle running almost every hour back and forth from our hotel, which is a beautiful hotel up on the hill overlooking Sorrento. But the shuttle runs back and forth to Sorrento town almost every hour up until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. Okay. I maybe y'all have some more questions. I'm not sure, but I think I've exhausted all I can talk about. Leslie's given a thumbs up. So remember, if you guys want to sign up and get those discounts, if you do it today or up through 8:30 tomorrow night, Eastern Daylight Time, we will automatically apply all those discounts right to your invoice that we send you. And we hope we have a few of you sign on tonight. We've already had some people sign up as we've been talking, and also earlier today as well. So thank you for that. I think I do have a Travel Talk Tuesday scheduled for next week. And it might be the Amalfi Experience. I can't remember what I'm doing, but I'm actually going to be back in Italy. So it's going to be a recording one, and Leslie's going to hopefully play it for us. And we'll do that. And then I'm going to be off for a few weeks, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because this is our busy time. And thanks to all of you, we are having a very successful year. Last year and this year looks very, very promising. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching Travel Talk Tuesday tonight. And until next week, I'll catch you there. Okay. See you later. Bye-bye.